What's up YouTube? This is the video coming out right after the previous video that I uploaded. This is just going to be a overview of this Ww2 Zippo that I have, and as you guys can see, you can now better clearly see that name that's carved in there. And again, with this very, very thin wax film that I now have on this lighter, and it is heat resistant and stuff like that with the film that is on here. However, you can kind of see, because it almost has a little bit of gloss to it now, which I really don't like that much. But again, it's more to preserve this lighter and preserve the finish that it has than to just look like you can see like my finger in the reflection. You used to not be able to do that, and that's just because of the very thin wax film that is now on this lighter. However, I will let you guys look at it a little bit closer. And this is what I was talking about on the insert cam spring. The insert's cam spring is actually kind of weird because it comes up, then back down, right where this chimney wraps around, and then goes under the cam itself. So that's interesting. Very unique, interesting aspect of this. Oh, it went out. There we go. And I probably do need to put more fuel in this because, again, as I was letting this dry, this insert was just sitting out. So it probably needs more fuel if I had to guess. But again, absolutely fantastic lighter, guys. Like I don't have any complaints on this lighter whatsoever because I was able to get a very decent price on it. However, again, I don't have, and that's one thing, like I mentioned about the quirks on this lighter, you do kind of have to adjust the insert just right in order to get it to close actually all the way. And it still isn't closing quite all the way. So let me take this out of frame real quick and just push that a little bit more. There we go. So now it closes all the way like it should, because you actually have to have the insert pushed all the way up against this side of the lighter, because again, this insert does slide around in there just a tiny bit. But again, guys, this is my favorite lighter. I do have a pre-war Zippo on its way here from 1938 that looks almost like this, but it's brass and it has the slashes on it. However, it has a 5-barrel hinge and has a 1960s insert inside of it, so it's not all original like this lighter is. A true relic of World War II. But as you guys can see, like whatever name this is, it appears to have been scratched in there in cursive, because again, that is a cursive L right there, and I don't really know what that's supposed to be. Maybe a N, maybe a W. I really can't tell. And then it looks like it almost says Wally right there, though I don't really know if that's what it says or not. But you can see like two little loops up there, which might be lowercase L's, but I really don't know, guys. But again, only reason again why I put that stuff on this lighter is to preserve and protect its finish, because I don't want it turning out like that 1950s steel case one where it has rust all over it and then you can't really read that anymore. I really want to preserve that name that is scratched into it. And one would think with a thin waxy film, this lighter would not be the most easiest to hold on to. However, it is. Okay, it wants to light. There we go. Again though, guys, I don't have it filled up very much with fuel because it was sitting outside of the lighter for several hours while this was drying, because I didn't want to start putting that thin film of waxy oil on the lighter with the insert in there, because I didn't want that stuff to seep down and get in the insert and cause any problems like that. So I did just have this thing sitting outside of the insert. There we go. But again, it just needs more fuel, guys. But very, very beautiful piece of history right here. And again, now you're actually getting a in-depth close look at the lighter, and now you can actually see what I was referring to in my first video, where it looks like someone may have tried to work on this years in the past to tighten the hinge, though I don't really know. But again, I don't want Zippo, I don't want to mail this in, I do not want to mail this into Zippo and then they wind up just replacing this with a 5-barrel hinge that's modern or something like that. I want to keep this thing completely original. That's why I'm going to take it to them in person. And also, this is an oopsie lighter. So how you're supposed to be able to read it is flip it like this and then it says Zippo. However, it's upside down. I don't really know how many of these steel case World War II lighters there are that are stamped upside down like this. However, there is another one that I'm looking at that does have, I'm not going to mention where, but that does have this same upside down stamp. However, you guys will note that it is actually kind of hard to read and make out Zippo on there, but it is an authentic Zippo because during World War II, they did have issues stamping the steel with their dies that they were using to actually put that on there. But again, so that time it actually lit the first time. And again, this lighter does now light every single time, unless of course it is low on fuel. However, one thing you have to be careful when lighting this lighter before you close it is just make sure that your insert is shoved all the way to one side, so that way it closes all the way. Because I have noticed that, like if I'm trying to light this one-handed, which again, it's possible, but you actually wind up pushing, when you're striking the front wheel, you push the insert back sometimes. However, it does take a few times of lighting to actually push the insert back. But I think I'm going to label this video something like up close view of my World War II Zippo, something of that effect maybe. Because again, now you guys are actually seeing the full extent of this lighter. And you can really see that wax film on the top there in the light. But that's what I love about this stuff, guys, is it doesn't change it. It doesn't damage any finish or anything like that. However, again, if I wind up getting one of these that does have most of its finish left on it, I will not be coating it with BoShield T9, only for the fact that I don't want, even though it hasn't stripped or anything like that, the finishes on my iron crosses, because I did research extensively before putting that stuff on my iron crosses. I wound up finding this form when I was doing research on iron crosses and how to neutralize rust. Someone actually had, I don't know, maybe 10 to 30, maybe even 50 World War I and World War II iron crosses in a shed unit, and there was a fire in there and it sprung all of the water valves to put the fire out, and it wound up getting the iron cores rusty. So he wound up putting the BoShield on there, and that neutralized the rust and stuff like that without removing it. And that's basically what that stuff is designed to do. However, it's actually meant for bike chains. But again, BoShield was the original ones who came, or Boeing, I'm sorry, was the original ones who came up with this formula or whatever. But that way now, guys, while I'm carrying it, I won't have to worry about it possibly getting surface rust on it or anything like that, or possibly covering up that name with surface rust, because I really don't want, if it ever does get any surface rust, I don't want to have to actually remove the rust of the lighter. Again, I just want to preserve the finish of this lighter to its entirety. But this is a very unique piece of history, I feel. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you like the video, like, share, comment, subscribe. Anything you do helps. And I will see you in the next video.